Hello, everybody. Hey, Roth, how are you?
I'm doing all right. Yourself?
I'm doing great. Doing great. I've been making affirmation posters all day for people in the rehab and, getting some positivity around, spreading it a little bit.
That is awesome.
So, I think I owe you an apology for cutting our last stream short on dragons, daemons, and demons. I'm sorry about that, but when you're in a rehab facility and it's a little bit of a psych ward here. Anything can happen. So, hey, Ants Lady, how are you? So, like I said, I owe you an apology. So I decided let's do part two because I know you've got a bunch more stuff to tell us.
That I do. I may not remember it all, but hey, questions from the panel or from chat will be greatly appreciated.
Awesome, awesome. So we were last talking about, the difference between daemons and demons.
Yes.
And I don't know if you have any more input to put into that, but I have got a problem, and I
Okay.
want you to tell me, see if I'm correct in this.
All right.
Okay, my problem is my bed is haunted here at the facility.
Yeah.
There, it is a room that a lot of people have passed in, and my bed does things by itself.
Mm,
The footboard will automatically fall off anytime anybody mentions it. Um, the head of the bed will slam down at any given time. Hey
okay.
Eddie Petch, hi, how are you? Thank you for joining. And I keep saying the devil is in this bed. It's a demon.
Mm.
Now, granted, it's probably just haunted, but could it be demonic activity instead of poltergeist activity?
That is honestly a pretty good question. The main difference between a demonic activity or even demonic activity versus just standard paranormal residual energies or even just the ghost of someone doing that, it usually comes down to severity. Like usually demons like to amp things up after a while. If things aren't generally amping up, it's either because if even if it is a demon, it's because the person is being protected and there's not really much they can do other than just what they've been doing, or
Hmm.
it's just residual or human ghost activity, and they're I guess simply just trying to be heard or noticed or just trying to uh, uh, trying to do stuff with the world that is around them, but they can only do so much because they don't have a physical body.
Okay, okay. Hey Donna, thank you for joining us. Yes, we changed the name since me and Roth really quickly here have decided to become co-hosts with on this channel. We decided that a name change would be in order. So we decided Moonlight Mysteries. You know, during the day, if we're talking about recipes and movies, it may be called the Lakaya Show, but at nighttime, it's Moonlight Mysteries because we're talking about anything that's not normal.
Well,
Hey,
what
Big
you humans don't,
Hole, I love you.
what you humans don't consider normal for me, it's normal.
True. Big Hole in the house. Oh, Big Hole, I love you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. You have been such a shoulder to lean on. I hope your health is in great spirits tonight and you're doing good, Big Hole. But Roth, okay.
Mm.
So my bed. What do I do about it?
The first thing that could always be done to try and help slow it down or stop
Mhm.
it is to speak with authority, as in the authority of the divine, or even just your own authority if you have any on the other side, to whatever's doing it, saying, "Stop! This is no longer necessary. This is no longer needed. It is only causing me issues, and I don't know what the hell you're doing, but you need to stop."
And see, here's the really weird thing about it. I have I had a roommate when I first got here, and me and her stayed in this room for 30 days together, and we didn't have a problem. But as soon as she got to go home. Her time was up. And she got to go home. That's when the stuff started with the bed.
Hmm.
Now, she, like me, was a double amputee of her legs. That's why they put us together. So they thought we would, understand each other. If one was in pain, the other one could alert a nurse and stuff like that. So they
Okay.
put us together, and I'm talking about like twin souls. We hit it off from the very moment that she seen me and I seen her. And we were just totally kicking it together in this room.
Mhm.
And like I said, no activity at all until the day she left. That night it started.
Okay. Sometimes the simplest explanation for something like that is simply that uh, once someone's by themselves, I guess it raises the confidence of whatever's around to do the whatever they're trying to do. Like in this case, messing around with your bed.
Yeah.
Um, and whenever people are around each other or when they're in groups, the spirit does not have as much confidence to do it because hey, you never know who might be around to stop them or who might or whatever might be around those people to stop them. So the fewer people there are, the better it is because I I I won't say that when there's no one around they're going to be at their most active, but if they're trying to get at someone's attention or something's attention or whatever it is, the fewer people, the better, seemingly.
Yeah, like Donna wants to know. She said maybe it was happening, but she kept you from noticing. Is that plausible?
That could also be possible. It's honestly just depends on what is causing the issues and why.
And
Um,
like I said, it's just my bed. It is literally just my bed. It is not. We have dressers in here. Nothing. Two dressers. Nothing happens to them. There's two chairs in here. Nothing happens. My wheelchair's in here. Nothing happens. Two wardrobes. Nothing happens to them. Two beds. Only my bed acts up. Two bedside tables. Nothing with those either. So that's what I'm saying. All the furniture. There's two flat screen TVs in here. What are they called? Smart TVs or whatever.
yeah.
They're in here. Nothing with them. One, two, three big garbage cans because I like to do crafts when I'm bored. Nothing with that. Not a garbage can turned over. No paper messed up. Nothing. I mean, this is just the bed.
Mhm.
And like I said, the footboard, it's the right side, no, left side of it. The footboard on the left side will literally come unhooked. You have to literally pick it up, pull it outwards, and then drop it for it to come loose from the railing here on this. It basically it's a hospital bed. And the thing is though, there's nobody there undoing it. It literally will undo itself and fall. It's crazy. Like I keep telling my nurses, I said, my bed needs an exorcism. I mean, I don't know what else to call it, but it needs an exorcism.
Yeah.
And and then on hospital beds how you can raise the head of the bed up.
Yes.
Okay, well I raise the head of the bed up like because I raise it all the way up and then I push off of it and it helps me to get my balance in the bed
Yeah.
so I can sit up. Well, because like I said, I don't have legs, and when you don't have legs, you forget that balancing is very hard to do
Hmm.
without legs. And a lot of people don't know that, but yes, it's very hard. So I raised the head of the bed up. Well, when I lean back on it, it's fine. It doesn't move. I can lean back on it and be laying back on it for 8 hours. No problem. And then all of a sudden it will slam flat down. And I was like, okay. So I raised it up again. And I was like, maybe it's just a fluke. Maybe I hit the button. I don't know. So I made sure I wasn't near the remote control. I raised the head of the bed back up, got situated again. And
Mhm.
not 20 minutes later, Roth had done it again. Slammed flat as it could be. And I'm talking about it hurt my back when it slammed down. And I'm like, what is going on? And I had the maintenance guy come in and actually take a look at my bed and make sure it wasn't malfunctioning or anything like that. And nothing. Well, here's the kicker part. For 2 days, my bed has acted right. But now, starting today, at lunchtime, my TV started acting up. It was started going black screening, and I'm like, oh, great. I didn't do it. And then it went black screen, and then it turned around, and every channel is fuzzy. We've checked every connection. We've checked the plug-ins. We've checked it all. So basically, my TV's going out. And like I said, it's only my side of the room stuff. It's weird. And I just keep saying it's a demon because that's what I feel like it is in this room. I feel like there's a demon in here. But like I said, I don't know if it's good or bad or what I need to do, or, do I need to get a new room? Stick it on a roommate? Like, what do I do?
So,
Hey, Fox.
hello. Usually when it comes to these situations, there's usually some kind of investigation to find out what it could be.
Mm-hmm.
And as I think everyone here probably remembers back when some shenanigans happened with you and a few others, like Tristan Bass and all that, I had
Mm-hmm.
to literally send in a few spirits to make sure that it didn't happen again. Um,
Okay.
so what I did do, was while I was listening to what you're talking about, I was essentially chiming in and finding out what that spirit around you may have seen. And they are saying it is not any kind of dark spirit that is evidently dark to them. Um, but to me, it sounds much more like something's trying to get your attention for whatever reason.
Oh,
And it, even if it may not be for malicious reasons, they're they're being an asshole about it.
yeah. Hmm. Could be. Now, I seen something else that was interesting today. I had a few minutes um, during my physical therapy, and so I was scouring Facebook just to see what was going on. And in a group, I seen this picture where they were talking about dragons back in the day, and they were talking about how dragons used to be two-headed, not just one-headed. Is that true?
Some dragons were two-headed, some have three heads, some have five heads. Um, it all depended on what that dragon's primary duties in creation were. Uh,
Like a hydra?
a hydra is honestly a subtype of draconian type dragon, dragon
Okay.
subspecies. Um, and so yeah, hydra kind of has a different function entirely, but there are flat out dragons who do have more than one head. Um, and it's simply just because they needed two heads for some reason, or they needed three heads for something. It's one of those, they have, it's not two separate personalities for each head or anything like that. It's simply just, it's the same dragon, it's the same mind, it's the same soul person. They just needed two heads for something.
Oh, okay. And you guys, I'm going to apologize now if you hear background noise and stuff. My door is open, and there are nurses working the facility. So you may hear one come in, You may hear one go by the hall. You may hear another person go by the hall. I will try to mute as much as I can when that happens, but I can't do much about it. All I can do is just tell you, bear with me or find a different channel to listen to. And I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. Hello, GNA.
Hey, girls. How are you, Gloria? And Lorna. I see Lorna in chat. And I see Gregory. There's a bunch of you in there.
Yeah.
Let's see, 14 people. I'm shocked. I didn't figure 14 would be listening to us just chit chat about randomly nothing but cool dragons and daemons and demons. Oh my.
Mm-hmm. And one thing I remember us talking about off air, was that something I wanted to talk about on air, was how a lot of people like to categorize things into separate places or different groups. And I figured, you
Mhm.
know what, I know this happens a lot, but if we were to categorize dragons and draconians under the different kingdoms of animal, because obviously animal, you know, dragons are animals if you were to
Yeah.
scientifically categorize us. But a dragon, or the draconian main types, both the western types and the eastern types, would be most likely considered mammals. And I'm saying this because of the bone structure, the generalized look of what the bones of dragons look like, as well as the muscle structure, and the fact that most of us are endothermic, where we have, we're warm blooded. Uh, so that would mean that because the best thing I can say is think of the ribs, sternum, like the torso, shoulders, and most of the legs
Mhm.
and hips and the pelvis of a big cat, like a lion or like a tiger, and then put on some extra bones with the shoulder blades that will attach the wings separately. If they're not, if they're a major Draconis major dragon, and then have the kind of almost raccoon paw, but not quite. The typical. If you look at, if again looking at Dragonheart, because they kind of were put some they put some stuff in that we kind of liked, was look at the hands of Drago from Dragonheart. Look at his feet. That's more or less how it is. It's 3 digits and a thumb. And so for the rear feet, it's 3 digits and the dew claw. And for the wings, it's that thumb spike you usually see on the crooks, the high crooks of the wings, and
Mhm.
then 3 tarsals. And then you have the big long tail, and you have the long, somewhat long neck with the draconian head.
Okay. Ants Lady, who's formerly known as Dim Lady, wants to know, Rod, why has this year been so negative?
um, that is going into a can of worms that even I don't know all about. Um, I know that just on the human sphere of goings on, there are multiple conflicts going on. There are multiple uh, groups and activities that have been not doing anything good. Um, and overall, people doing a lot of negative things and people reacting to a lot of negative things with negative emotions can just cause negativity all around. Sometimes it's not anything that is outside that causes people to do negative. Sometimes it's the people doing the negative things that causes everything else to feel negative.
Yeah.
It's that connectivity between everyone, everything, and everyone is connected in some way or form. So even if the year was supposed to be more positive, and that's honestly what I felt like this year was going to be. It was going to be more positive, but because of so much crap that happened, it just turned negative.
Mm. See, I thought it was going to be a positive year as well. I even said that on my birthday that, I turned 40 this year. It's going to be my year. Well, I didn't know it was going to be my year like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking about just losing my legs. I'm talking about changes and lessons learned and learning to be a new me. And that I did not expect. I did not expect all the shadow work that I would have to do to be able to still keep myself sane and hold my head high.
And I think this year has been the same for a lot of people. Like hell, even me, just being able to keep your head above water and not go insane from the sheer amount of crap that has been going on.
Oh, absolutely.
Um, yeah. Eh, are there any questions from the group about daemons, demons, or dragons, draconians, reptilians? Anything that you guys have any questions about?
Well, Big
Because
Hole says he agrees with you. Parts of energy growing to a larger mass.
yeah, just think about it, like all of your everyone's actions have consequences, even in the magical sphere, even in the realm of spirit. Whenever you do something positive, you're releasing positive energies. If you're doing something neutral, then you're letting out that balancing energy, which is more or less sending out both negative and positive energies. I'm not saying negative energies are bad per se by their own thing, but just negative actions cause negative consequences. Um,
Absolutely. Dim Lady says, Lakaya, remember I told you at the beginning of the year I had a bad feeling, which she did. And she said it turned into one of the worst years in my life. Dim, I'm so sorry, honey. I hate that. Um, Most people would think I would be saying this year would be the worst year of my life. Because I've had a lot of losses, a lot of losses of appendages and people. You know what I mean? Like a lot of losses. But it's becoming the best year of my life towards this end of it because I'm so close now with family and friends that I don't take it for granted anymore. I take it as a gift. And speaking of gifts, Ross,
mhm.
why hasn't a dragon brought me a gift? Like if they're all over treasures. And okay, I got one better. You're of draconian descent, right?
My soul is draconian, yes. I can't really
Okay.
say anything about my body.
Okay. So you remember when I told you the other night you're gonna come visit me? Well, because you have a draconian soul, that means you reside over treasures, so you have to bring me a treasure.
My treasures are mostly knowledge and secret knowledge. So that is one of those. I would need one of my accountants, quote unquote accountants, to figure that one out.
Big Hole says, Ross, could you explain a little about all you mentioned? Maybe do a recap of the last video, like maybe what's the difference between the three?
Okay. So, to recap, a dragon is a being, a species of beings created by Jehovah to help guard over the worlds that he is currently in the worlds, universes, planets, galaxies that he is currently in the process of creating. Dragons are creations of Jehovah. We have no connection to Lucifer or any of the demons in that sense. Uh, a demon is a fallen angel, just simply put. A demon is Lucifer and all his cronies that made that revolt in heaven and got struck down. Those are what demons are. A daemon is a naturally occurring species, or actually a group of species. They're not just one species, an actually occurring group of species that are more or less just infernal realm born species of people that just look like what demons took the shape of. So a demon and Lucifer, they took our names, our forms, our shapes, some of even our actual names and titles, and try to take them for themselves because they couldn't take anything from angels. They couldn't take anything from anything else. They just, because
Hello.
Hello.
I'm sorry, my net crapped out. That was my fault on my phone. It doesn't know whether it wants to be on Wi-Fi or 5G,
Ah,
and it
but
keeps going back and forth.
hmm, but yeah, dragons are a species that are more affiliated with arcane magic, if you're gonna think about it like that, primordial magic,
Hmm.
and with being guardians, warriors,
Yeah,
viziers, advisors, necessary nemesis. Where if someone has to, in order to attain their full potential for their life's purpose, challenge one of us, then so be it.
I know. A lot of people that are, let's say, Aries, for example. Aries is fire. Is and hold on, y'all. Give me 2 seconds to get my mind straight. Okay. I'm multitasking here. Okay. If you look at people that are Aries, under the Aries sign, that's a fire element. And most people that I'm finding that are fire elements, regardless of what their sign is, I'm just using Aries as an example, they tend to draw towards dragons. That tends to be their go-to thing. Hey, Miss Carla, how are you?
Hello.
Thank you, hon.
Which is actually kind of interesting because not all dragons are fire signs. There are dragons of the water, there are dragons of the air, the earth, uh, the other elements. Um, but it is kind of interesting how most dragons are considered, beings of fire. And fire in symbology is not just a symbol of strength, martial ability. It's also a sign of that blazing hunger for knowledge, for intelligence. Um, it's a symbol of. Have you heard of dragons that lived on the Hopi Reservation a long time ago? I couldn't. I
Okay.
would not doubt it that because essentially, yeah, purification. Yeah, fire is usually seen has always been seen as a sign of good things. It's mostly, and this is not to offend anyone or upset anyone, but Christianity, the way it came, a lot of the old Vatican ways of doing things, like in the medieval times, Renaissance era, hell, even in the 1700s, there was a lot of them taking the corruptions of what was going on that essentially Lucifer did and just rolling with it because they didn't really know any better, or they were, sadly enough, being persuaded by corrupt bishops or whatnot of the old Vatican. So the sign of fire became a sign of destruction and became really
Mm,
negative. So a lot of things like that. So in dragons, because Lucifer impersonated one of us during the seduction of Eve, uh, yeah, during the seduction, during the Garden of Eden, Lucifer did not take the form of a python or an anaconda or a viper or anything like that. He took the form of one of us, which we are still pissed off about
yeah.
because we did not give him any go ahead to that. We did not allow him to do that. We didn't agree to any of it. Yeah, Lucifer is not a dragon. He is not known as the dragon. There is nothing to do with Lucifer and dragons or daemons. So, um, yeah, and the church going ahead and just giving the name the dragon, the beast, the serpent, all these things to talk about Lucifer is not only incorrect, but it's still putting a stain on our names. So that it's part of the reason why that a lot of us don't have much uh, empathy towards the Vatican if they're still doing that crap, because it just seems to be part of the popular nomenclature of what they do to talk about Lucifer, and they're not separating us from Lucifer.
Yeah. Um, People like you that have basically a draconian soul. Do y'all consider yourselves part of the other kin?
Uh, Technically, the definition of an otherkin is someone who believes that their mind or spirit is of a different species than their body. So by that definition, I would probably say yes, but for us, it is something that we have gone to lengths to actually prove rather than just go off of belief or an intuition. We have actually anyone who is of another species in soul or spirit.
Hmm.
At some point, we will try to test that to make sure that we are what we're saying we are, and it's not an easy process. It's sometimes an emotionally difficult one because having to rediscover what you are when you're living in a body that is not yours or you, because the body is a completely different species that you're not. It is taxing, especially if it's happening during your teenage years, which I can safely say to you. I was discovering who I really was during my teenage years, and I had a lot of different opinions about what I was before I found out. I wasn't. It wasn't just a at some point going, oh, I know what I am now. It was a process. It was not a comfortable process either, because you're not only dealing with teenagehood and puberty and all that, you're also dealing with, okay, something's not right here. That is existential to my very core. I need to know what that is.
And I want to take a quick moment, just an interruption. We're gonna go around the corner to the left real quick.
All right.
I'm sorry if my net keeps dropping again. There's nothing I can do about it here. And like I said, I don't know why it's doing that, but it is. Secondly, Big Hole, is there anything that I need? Um, to be honest, I think I've got everything I need. It's all supplied for me. I mean, I've turned into a really simple person. So, like, basically, I don't have a dollar to my name. All I have is a phone and some clothes and some construction papers and puzzle books. And that's been my life for the last 60 days. Well, 5 months, really, but especially last 60 days.
Mm-hmm.
So, is there anything that I really need? Mm, unless you just absolutely want to donate something. Not that I know of.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I think Lakaya's net just decided to crap out just a little bit. But yeah, does I guess until Lakaya's internet decides to come back again, does anyone else have any questions, or are there any comments on what people want to talk about? Because I think I could safely say I think there probably were dragons in North
Great.
America during the. Oh, hello. Are
Hi,
you back?
did I drop out again?
Yes, you did.
Oh my gosh. My phone didn't even show me I dropped out this time.
Huh?
That is so weird.
Yeah, yeah.
I give up. Okay. Ross, you run this show
I,
because my side is just being crazy.
uh, okay. But yeah, what I did do was ask chat if there were any other questions because Carla had an interesting one. If there were dragons that lived on the Hopi Reservation before the veil went up, and
Oh,
I'm gonna say not specifically what may have caused it to go up, but the veil went up around 0 AD or 0 BC, around that time frame. And before that, we probably did. We probably did do that a lot. And there's a lot of tales and legends, both in Native American lore and other lore, that happened before the veil went up. After the veil went up, we probably could have, but we would probably had to have some kind of special, oh, more or less a spell to go through the veil. If I've talked about this before, going through the veil when you're a being of another species from the other side, you can't really just go in your true body without a lot of special permissions from the deities or from Jehovah, really specifically.
mm-hmm.
Um, in order to think of it like this, you're trying to get from one town to another. So at airport A, where you're getting on the plane, you have to take off everything. You can't bring on any washes, any food, anything. basically having to strip completely naked. They put your stuff in like a locker or something like that. So when you get on the plane, you are completely naked with nothing else around you. You have nothing, to your name that is on the plane with you. You're just naked, completely stripped naked with everyone else. And then when you go to airport B, you have to be given a complete new set of clothes, items, etc., and everything else. And then when you want to go back, you have to do the same thing over again. So after the veil went up, it'd have to be some kind of permission to be here in your true body.
How would we know if they are from any of these bloodlines? How would a person know?
If you had a physical bloodline to any draconians or reptilians, at some point you might have an encounter with something either spiritual or with your own family that will let you know something that is like a breadcrumb or just an outright explanation for it. So if you are like physically related to draconians, reptilians, ATs, or anything like that, you're gonna be told in some way or form, even if you have to find the breadcrumbs and go your way with it.
Okay. And what about Daemons? Like, how would a person know if they're dealing with a daemon compared to a demon?
If they are not sensitive, that they don't know the magics to use for that kind of stuff, or they don't have the authority to do that, um, a daemon will have more authority to be more independent about what they're doing than a demon. Because technically speaking, demons still have complete authority over them by Jehovah and anything heaven-born. And it is, I guess you could say, if you feel more of a, okay, fine, I'll leave, and you use the authority of your deity behind you, that might be a demon. I mean, a daemon. I mean, sorry,
Hmm.
a demon. It'll be demons have no connection to anything divine. No other deity has connected to them. No, Jehovah has not connected. They have complete and utter disconnection from anything divine.
Okay.
And so they have this very aggressive attitude trying to reconnect towards it no matter what. And so there'll be much more desperation in what they do rather than
Okay.
what a
So,
demon will do.
has a demon ever had a soul?
Technically speaking, a demon is a soul. A spirit
Okay.
is a soul. They're one and the same. And they have true bodies on the other side. Everyone has true bodies on the other side. Even humans, they have true bodies on the other side, and they are much better than the ones here. I'll say that.
Ah, well, that's good. That is good to know. Well, Roth, I think we're going to call it on this one. That way we've got two short ones, which make up a long video. And we may come back in the next day or two and do another stream.
Mm.
And next topic, I'm letting you pick.
All right. Yeah. Just that's perfectly fine with me. I know Aunt's lady has a very interesting question. What happened that night with the trespassers at the old property in Mississippi? Uh, I will answer very quickly. Some people got into a situation that they had no idea what they were getting into. That's all I'll say.
And on that note, we're out of here, folks. Love, peace, chicken grease. Thank y'all for joining us. Don't forget to check out Jeremy and Jasper Henson. They went live earlier. And don't forget to check out Balton Chris later.
Mm-hmm.
See you guys later. Bye.
Talk to everyone later. Goodbye.